fiction.
We're back.
Welcome. I've been seeing it everywhere that these are the Burr months.
The Burr
We have
months. I love Burr
we
months.
have entered the Burr months.
The Burr months.
And, you can't be sad that summer has ended because now
No.
we're getting into cozy fall book reading.
I
Like
am,
that's on the horizon. We're not
right?
there yet.
I'm way too ready. Like, way too ready. Like, went to the bookstore yesterday. All the books that I picked had some form of the word witch in them. And I was like, cool, because I have nothing else to read, which is a lie because I also bought other books. I'm just
Lies.
hoarding cozy books at this
Yes.
point.
You are preparing for winter. For
Mhm.
winter high book nation. I
Yes.
don't know if that works, but we're
High book
going with
nation.
it.
We're going
Hibuk Nation.
book
That
high book
could mean
nation.
a whole lot of things.
It
Book
could.
hibernation. We'll go with that.
That's fine
Yeah.
too.
Like we're approaching. It's happening.
We are.
Yeah.
And I feel like for some reason to me, August is one of the months that goes by the quickest. Like it starts, it ends, and all of a sudden it's the beginning of the school year for kids, and like work is
Aren't there
picking up back
31
again. And
days? There's 31
yes,
days in August. It's one of the longer ones.
yes, and it feels so short.
That's crazy.
I don't know why. It just does. And I was like, okay. So I went back and like looked at what I read, and I was like, oh, I
I
read,
read some things.
I
We're
read some things.
good.
It's fine.
I've kept up my end of the bargain. Yes.
I have, but
Yes.
also I think I was just focused on so many different things that I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like I'll read here and then I won't read for a little while and then I'll like devour a book in a day and then I'm like, oh, I won't read for 4 days. So it's a
Yes.
very weird part of the season. But I'm glad
Yeah.
we're here recapping everything so I can revisit the stuff I read because some of it I really loved.
Right? And you're like, oh, I didn't do anything this month. And then you're like, oh, wait, just
But
kidding.
wait, I read these books and they were
But wait.
lovely.
Yes. So kick us off. What did you read?
We're gonna get this one out of the way first. It's the one I usually get out of the way last. And I don't know if I actually read one of these the last month. I have to go back and look. But the kids and I finished another Chronicles of Narnia book. So we finished Prince Caspian, which is also a movie, which we haven't watched any of them. So I remember
I
we
was
said
gonna
like, hey,
say,
we're gonna
are
watch.
you
Yeah,
following up? No, not yet.
nope, haven't done it yet. Haven't done it
Yeah,
yet.
maybe.
Ended up watching K-pop Demon Hunters instead, which was super cute. So not a book, but definitely like a very now
On
movie for the
trend.
kids.
It's
Yes, very
happening.
very
Yes.
trendy movie. But we did finish Prince Caspian, which is one of my favorites. I like Prince Caspian. I love that we get to see the four children again, and I don't know. It's a classic to me. I actually think I like it better than The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I don't know if that's blasphemous to say, but I do
Oh,
like Prince
okay.
Caspian better. So that is the first. It's super easy, super quick. I mean, it's a classic. There's a movie. We'll do all the things. I just haven't done any of them yet, but read the
We
book, and now
will.
we're on to the next one that I can't remember.
You should be approaching, right? Is that 3?
This is
Or is that
book.
4?
This is book 4. So we're on book 5.
Okay.
I think we have book 5 and one more, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Okay. I was gonna
I think
say,
we
I
have one more.
think you're nearing the end. So
Yes, which is good
yeah.
because I ordered books for the bigger kids. I ordered books for all 3 of them, but I ordered specific series for the older 2. And so one is The Land of Stories that Addie's really like. They're thicker books, but I think we got like 6 of them, and they are like 2 children who actually end up falling into different fairy tales, which is fun.
Okay.
And then Ryder's reading The Last Kids on Earth, which is like a middle school zombie apocalypse kind of thing with zombies and monsters and
Because
all
it's
sorts of
never
stuff.
too early to plan.
Right. And also, it's a kid who like outfitted his treehouse, and like his best buddies are, and a reformed bully are the people that he's, surviving the world with. And so it's a whole series of those books. So I got both of those. And so I think we're going to transition after this into everybody gets to read their own stuff. So,
Quiet reading. Yeah, like
right.
some
I
reading time for
love quiet.
everybody.
I
Yes.
love quiet reading. I
Yeah, we
like
do.
reading to
Any
them.
excuse.
Right. But I'm sorry, I need 30 uninterrupted minutes where everybody's going to sit and read. Let's go. I'm in.
Yeah,
So
I can
that's
do
how I
it.
kicked off my month. Yes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so I kicked off my month exactly as I wanted to. I took these slower months to dive into a new series that I knew would be a little challenging to read.
Okay.
So I kicked off with Game of Thrones.
She went Game of Thrones. Have you watched it?
I have seen it. It
Oh,
took
okay.
me a while to get into the TV series. I remember Greg watching it, and I was like, yeah, no, not for me. You could watch that without me. We're fine.
We're
And then
good.
I'd kind of like walk through, doing other things, and I'd like some parts would catch me, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. Like, I have no idea who these people are. I have no, like, there's too many people.
There's so many people.
Um, there's so many people, and you follow so many stories. And honestly, the book. So I wanted to start out. I'm going to start each month for the rest of the year with a Game of Thrones, a book in the Game of Thrones series.
Nice.
And
So it's
then
like
after I
all the way through.
finish that, yeah. So
Okay.
I can like because this isn't something you can just charge through. Well, or
Yeah.
at least not for me. So it did take me a little while to read. Um, and weirdly enough, it's seems very similar right now to what I remember from the story or from the movies, shows,
Shows. They feel
the
like movies. It's very long.
series.
There's a lot of seasons.
There are, and everybody says the books are so much better. The books are so much better. The series didn't do justice to the story. Like,
Oh.
yeah, so there's this huge thing online. And I was like, okay, like let me dive into this. So there's currently 5 books. I'm gonna read one. I'm gonna start each month with a new book, and then however long it takes me to read, great. And then I'll read some after that. But like my focus is finishing this series. And as I got into it, it didn't seem that different from the series, and yet I was easily able to fall into it. I enjoyed it better,
I mean,
even though like I can't see a difference yet.
okay.
And granted it's like it's the first book, we're meeting the people, but like it all seems to be happening the same. So I think maybe it might be the later books.
Okay.
Um but I have no trouble. I know who everybody is. Like it's night and day from watching the series. Like I'm jumping in and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Here's these people. It's this family. These people are together. We're doing this." Like it's just easier to digest, weirdly
That's
enough.
I like that. And
So,
is each
yeah.
season a book? Like, do they go together?
I think it kind of set
Okay.
itself up that way, but I
Okay. I just didn't know.
also don't think so because there's only 5 books. I know he's been working on the 6th book for years, but I
Right. Oh, and
think
there's like
there's
7 seasons.
7 or 8. I can't remember now, but there were a bunch. So I think towards the end, because the last book, I don't think the last book that is now finished was finished at the time. I could be
Okay.
totally misquoting this, but I also know that the 6th book is not done at all. And so I think that's why maybe the end series
Yeah.
seasons
Yeah. They're different.
took their own artistic liberties. So,
That is what I hear. I I think we talked about this in an episode a long time ago. I haven't read the books, and I didn't really watch the show. I only followed one character via
yes.
YouTube clips, right? And so I know exactly what happened to Khaleesi. I know her whole story arc, right? But I don't know anybody else. There's other people. There's other families. There's a lot of things that apparently happen. I don't know any of them.
Yes.
Not a single one. I paid more
Yes.
attention to the like prequel show that just
Mhm.
came out recently. I paid more attention to that because Mike would watch it and I would be like, again, same thing. I was like, I'm good. Like, you don't
And
have
that
to watch
kind of
it with me.
ties to Khaleesi, to Daenerys. Like,
Yes.
that's like kind of her lineage, her backstory. So I
Yeah.
could see how that could intrigue you.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fine. But also, I didn't know who anybody was. Like, and the thing is, I'm like doing other things in the house. And it was like that
Yeah.
TV magnet butt thing where all of a sudden it would be on. And I just kind of like stop and I was like, this is intriguing, but also,
What is
what is
happening?
happening? Yeah. So I
Yes.
didn't. I did my best. I have a problem with doing that with TV shows. I don't ever commit unless it's British Bake Off. I do not commit to anything. So I have been working on like an art project, kind of like I'm working on a cross stitch as Mike is watching some alien show that's on now, and I find myself like moving my chair so that I can kind of see. Am I actually paying attention? No. Am I paying attention now? Yes, because I realized I'm that person who starts asking questions while he's watching, and I'm like, I have to watch it. I can't be that person. I just have to
Yep.
watch it. So I think that's what I did with Game of Thrones ish. So I
Yeah.
have not read it yet either. And I don't know if it's one I will read. I might just let you read it and tell us about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was one of those that people like love. They love the books. They're pissed off about what the series did. So I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. So that's what I'm doing. I'll start each month with a Game of Thrones series book, and we'll go from there. And it did. It took me. I think this one took me like 2.5 weeks to get through,
Yeah.
just because there's so much information. But like I said, it was easy to understand, easy to follow, which I was
Right.
a little concerned about. So,
Because it's not
so
small.
far, so good. Hmm.
Yeah, it's not a small book. Like that book looked
No, it's not.
pretty thick. So I can see why,
She's a,
right?
and I did go with the big ones. So I originally bought, they're probably like half this size, so they would go like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't read those at all. It's terrible.
That's overwhelming to me. Like when I see them in
So
the
yeah,
bookstore or like a
I got
thrift
the
shop
big
when you go
one.
and you see the smaller books and I'm like, "Oh, yes, I
They're
see you, but
cute.
also but holding them in my hands doesn't feel right."
No,
I feel
and the
like a
print is so tiny, and you're like,
no. I
let's
feel like a
read this
giant,
book. Yeah,
right?
so
I'm like, I
no.
don't need to feel like a giant when I'm reading.
Yeah, no. So
Not at
I
all.
have the little ones on my shelf, and I'm reading the big ones.
Perfect. So you have your shelf trophies and you have the ones you've
That's
used. I see
right.
it.
And
Makes
then
sense to
these will
me.
be my actual reading books. So yes. Yeah. So that's how I kicked off my month.
I like that you have a plan to do like one every month instead of putting yourself because I think that's why I never finished the Sookie Stackhouse series because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and read this. And then when I got into it and I was like, A, I'm really mad at her. B, I don't want this to be the only thing I consume myself with because
Hmm.
have as I've recognized recently, I'm a mood reader. I am 100% a mood reader. And
Mm-hmm.
if I ain't in the mood, I'm not reading. Like I would
It's
rather
hard to stay in a series in that. Yeah.
right? I'd rather not read at all than force myself into reading something that I have to read.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
learning things about myself through this journey, and
You're
that's
learning.
one of them. So, maybe
Yes.
I'll finish it someday, but like I said, I don't know that I can
But
commit
not
to.
today. And now we're getting into
Yeah,
the holidays, and like, yeah, no, you have theme reading.
right?
Although that could be a good one to pick up
For
around
spooky season,
October-ish.
it is.
Yep.
So,
Could be a good
I
one.
keep being kindly reminded, like, hey, have you gotten to this part yet? I'm like, no,
Uh,
I'm still mad at her. And he's like, okay.
okay.
So,
Yes.
next, I'm actually gonna do for this next one. I'm actually gonna shove two together. I'm gonna do that twice, because the next kind of lump of reading for my month was actually arc reads. I love a good arc read. I love a good new author. I love somebody who's put out one or two books and they're just like continuing to go and they still have the passion for it and you get to talk to them. Like I love that whole experience. And
Hmm.
so I read a book which was a perfect summer book and it was called Lemonade Love and it was by an author called Rees Aurin, Aurin. I will put the picture up like we usually do, but it was super cute, very much a rom com story, which we know that I love. It was a woman who, you know, ends up going back to her best friend's hometown. Her family, she no longer has family around. She's a wedding planner, and she gets basically contracted by somebody whose wedding planner up and left them in this small town and was like, I need help. I'm trying to plan this wedding. It's crazy. Your friend suggested you. And so she moves into this town, like basically on a whim and she tries to help set up this wedding and then she gets pulled into setting up the like summer festival for the town.
They're like, hey, you're a planner.
They were basically like,
Come,
"Hey,
you can do this.
they were like you did a great job with this, whole thing. We would love for you to also plan our summer festival and also don't mess up because we'll talk about you like we could ruin your life kind of thing." It's that kind of a small town, right, where like the old biddies run everything and talk about everybody, so you have to be really careful about that kind of thing, except that she gets paired up with one of the town influencer moms, um, her grumpy son.
I was gonna say this. I in
Yes,
my head, I was like, this is like the outcast of the town. This is something. And so when you were like
right.
influencer, I was like, okay, we're taking a turn. We're taking a turn. But no, we
Right?
came back.
So it's the son of this woman who has been, the town is basically named after her family. And her son and this woman end up having to plan it together. And so it's very much a grumpy sunshine. It's very much a happily ever after. It's very much like also all of the super cute fun things. Perfect summer read. Perfect for like, summer festival, fairground, whatever. Like it hit every single note. Every single one
Nice,
and it was cute.
nice.
So I had the opportunity to read that one. It is one that I would recommend, that I enjoyed. And then on the flip side of that, because I read another arc, I read an arc called Maple Leaves and Lattes, by Rowan, Eira. And again, super cute. It was like a Grumpy Sunshine kind of movement. But this one was set in Michigan in the fall, which was
I was
fun
gonna
because I
say,
was
it
like,
sounds very fallish.
right? So it was very fallish. And it was a woman who had moved into town to take over the local coffee shop. And she wanted to make
Okay.
it a coffee shop and bookstore, which, dream. Why not?
Yes.
Exactly.
I can get behind
It,
that for sure.
right? Except that the man who ends up being her neighbor is somebody that she has history with from before that ended poorly. So it was not only a grumpy sunshine, it's also a miscommunication trope. It's also like, you know, there's spice in that one. I don't think there's spice in Lemonade Love. There is spice in Maple Leaves and Lattes. It's like 2.5, 3, right? 2.5 or 3 little peppers, for that one. But it's super cute to the point that she has a winter one that she had written previously, and I'm planning to read that one as well. It's like on my list. It's already queued up in my Kindle. I'm like ready to read it because I was like, I also
Like,
need
yes.
this one.
We're
Yes,
approaching the time, so it just
we
makes
are.
sense.
We are. So I jumped a little bit forward. So I did the summer one, and then I did like the fall one, which was, it was, I'm telling you, if a book doesn't make me want to quit my job and open my own bookstore or coffee shop
Slash
or
coffee shop,
uh
slash wine place, slash bakery, slash pet rescue.
exactly, if it doesn't make me want to do that, I don't want it. I don't want it.
We don't
So
want it.
that's where I am right now, right? The rest of the world is busy and hard and things are happening, so please just give me a story that allows me to dream a little and plan how I'm going to build a
Escape.
whole reading shed in my backyard or something. I don't know. But
A
both of
she
those,
shed in the
right? A she shed,
backyard.
a she library. I just, like I said, recommend both of them. Loved them, and both books are ones that, like, every time somebody's like, I need an autumn read, I'm like, cool, Maple Leaves and Lattes, and somebody's like, I need something like lighthearted and like cute, I'm like, cool, Lemonade Love. They're both on the list of things I will recommend to go forward. So those are the next
Yeah.
two that I read.
And these will be fabulous because I feel like I know what else is coming from you, but I can't remember if you read it now or if you're gearing up to read it, but I know there will be a lot of good themes for the fall and spooky season and into Christmas. So
Yes. Oh
stay
yeah,
tuned for
totally.
all of that. Like, we
All of them.
love a theme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'm big on themes. So if you are not a person who likes to listen to me talk about on theme books, just buckle in because we're going to do it. It's coming. I have
Just
photos of all the books I plan on reading, and it's a lot.
come for me and we can fast forward through Meg's part. Whatever.
That's
Whatever works for you. You love
I'm
Meg's
cozy.
books, you hate my choices, fast forward through me. It's fine. I
We
can
will
wait.
take a view. It's fine. And since we're talking about views, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. Since we're here now, we're gonna
Yes.
say it now instead of right at the end. If
Subscribe
you
in
still
25
right, if you haven't done it, just do it now. Just do it now, and then we'll say it again at the end to remind you. But that's where we are at the moment.
because we'll be best bookish friends.
We will.
Will be great.
We have lots to talk about.
Speaking of, that's kind of a we're gonna make a big jump segue.
All right, cool.
So a few months ago, when I was at my favorite used bookstore, someone had dropped off a massive stack of Book of the Month books.
Like from the subscription
And
thing. Oh,
yes.
okay, okay, okay. I haven't read
And
anywhere.
so I was like, I don't know if I'm into this. So I picked up one and I was like, this is like a good story. This sounds like good. So I picked up the other one, very different story. So I was like, okay. So I ended up with a bunch of these. Um, like these books are heavily curated. Like a lot of people's opinions go into picking these. So
Oh,
I'm like, okay, maybe like let's give it a chance. Let's see what happens. So after finishing up my very serious Game of Thrones book, I thought, let's jump into something that maybe isn't so deep, isn't so heavy. And I grabbed one of my book of the month. This one is from September of 2023. So
also
if you
this
were
looks
in on
heavy.
this one, if you were in on this one, congratulations. It's pretty recent. So as opposed to some of the other things I read. So this one is called The Intern, and it is a thriller slash maybe toe dipping into horror.
Wait, you just said you read heavy Game of Thrones, so you were going to take a
Yes.
break with mystery and thriller? I'm
Yes.
sorry, thriller and horror? We are different people.
Thriller
I love that.
slash tiptoeing into horror.
Great. Okay,
So
let's
this
lean
is
in.
what we did. Yeah. Um Loved this book.
Oh.
Loved this book. So this is about a girl who is attending Harvard Law, and she wants to be a lawyer, I think. Lawyer. She idolizes this federal judge, and this judge happens to be teaching a course. So she, of course, gets into it, and she's learning everything about this lady, and she's realizing that they have a lot in common, including some dark areas of their past. And so we learn that the student has her brother has some convictions. He's in jail. He's doing this. Um, but she aspires to be like the judge, and takes an internship with her and ends up lying on her background check about the brother.
Okay.
But the judge takes a special interest in her too because they find out, like I said, they have a lot in common. But it was very interesting. There were a lot of twists and turns that I'm going to attempt to spoil. I feel like I say that and then I proceed to spoil. So I'm going to try to do better with that. This book, it is amazing because people's stories are never black and white.
No.
And like this girl going through her stuff, idolizing this lady going through her stuff, using this girl for things like, and you're like, I hate you, but then you're like, wait, I see why you're doing this. Like, I see what's happening. It's very good. It was very good. I will say it was very reminiscent of a book I read previously called The Anonymous Girl,
Mm,
which I do believe I handed to you. So if you have not read that one yet,
I do have.
it was very similar of like person in power taking control of another person for personal gain. Um, but it was happening both directions.
Mutually.
Yeah, so very interesting twists and turns the whole way. Um, but very good.
I like things that keep you, like, keep the brain rolling, right? Where I'm like, oh, no. Because there's a point where I always want to find out. Like, I want to be the one who's like, ah, I knew it. I knew
I
that's what
knew
was
it.
happening. I
I
knew it was
got
going to
it.
happen that way. But
Yes.
then if I get to a point and it didn't happen the way that I thought it would, I'm like, oh, good for you. Like, I don't,
Yes.
I don't
You
kid myself,
stumped me.
right? But I don't kid myself that I'm like super smart in a way that I can always figure it out. But I
Hmm.
feel like I can follow the clues. And so if you have led me down this thing with your fictitious clues, and then you're like, but wait, I'm like, oh, good for you.
Yes.
Like, wait, like,
Yes.
well done. Like,
You're
that
like,
deserves
I applaud
a
that.
whole
That
extra
is,
star, right? You get a whole extra star for that one because I didn't figure it out.
yeah. Yeah. So I think that's probably the only reason I deducted a little bit of a star was because I had read something similar, but also that's not their fault.
Right.
So I'm sure there's a lot of things that are written this way. I just happened to read them close together where I was like, oh yeah, this was reminiscent. But I feel like what the anonymous girl didn't do, this book did.
So
And
that's
so
nice.
maybe like, yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Good. So one to definitely recommend.
So I'm glad I picked up the rest of the book of the month pile that I found because so far, one for one.
So far, we are batting 1,000. We love it.
That's right.
That works.
Yes.
So I am going to completely take a detour from what you just read because my next two books go together.
Okay.
And I discovered, I don't want, I might get this wrong. I think it's called spectral fiction. Does that make sense? Does that sound
I mean
normal?
the words make sense, but I have
Yes.
no idea what you're talking
I
about. What
literally
is
I
this?
wish I wish I had taken a picture of the sign at Barnes& and Noble yesterday, because I literally walked Mike over to it and I was like, "This is what I read. Read this sign. This is what I read." And he was like, "Oh." And it's very much like a mixture of like fantasy elements with some romance, with some like possibly historical fit. Like it's all of these different things that kind of like work together to make the book what it is. And so the next two books on my list are this genre. And I
Spectral
had
fiction?
I want to say I'm gonna have to look it up, and if I got it wrong, I will put it on the bottom and be like, "This is actually what it's called,"
Okay.
because I literally looked at it and I was like, "Pretty sure that's the word." Maybe I just got excited, but the next two books on my list are from Sarah Beth Durst. I read The Spell Shop, and then the one that
Ooh.
came out right after, which is The Enchanted Greenhouse, and I
Oh,
love both
cute
of them. And we
covers.
right, and
Yes.
then we also have Sprayed Edges.
We
I'm a
love a
sucker for a
sprayed
sprayed
edge.
edge, right? Sucker. And the
Yes.
thing is, I will tell you something super silly that has nothing actually to do with the book, but this one just came out like a month ago, maybe. Maybe it's new. Um, Except that it's so new that I don't think that they like flip through the pages after they sprayed the edges. So every time I turned a page, it would go click click, and I was like, oh, "This is great!" Like every time I turned a page, it was like unsticking itself. It was the most satisfying book read, to the point that I went to turn a page and I was like, "Hey, listen," and like made people in my house listen to me turn the page.
Just listen to what's happening. This is
Right?
great.
And I was like, which stinks that I can't ever do that again because I already did it once. I have read
Not on this
everything.
one.
So, not this one.
It's
I will have
something
to
you
find
can,
another.
yes.
Yes. So, what's interesting is none of the people in the books are human, right? Nobody's a human, but they all
None.
like
Okay.
none of them. Like they're humanoid, I guess, but they're all like the girl in the first book is blue. I think her name is Kayla, and she is blue. She is an librarian at the like city library where like you have to train really hard and you only get to do certain things and blah blah blah. And so she's a librarian. She doesn't really like other people. She doesn't. She's lost her parents, unfortunately. She's from a really small island. Doesn't even remember it because they left and came to the city. And there is a revolution in the city, and they're starting to burn the books. And so they're trying to burn everything down, including the books. And she's like, "You can't burn the books." And she's not even in charge of like the spell books. She's in charge of like a completely different section. But she has been secreting away spell books into this like boat because she heard something was happening. So she's been secreting away these books into a boat. And when the day comes where they're like getting in and they're lighting fires, everything, she and her best buddy, who is a sentient spider plant named Kaz, um, who was
Okay.
created illegally by a different librarian. We'll get to that later. Um, she is she and the plant get on a boat and they basically sail, which she has no knowledge really of how to do. They sail back to her home island, which she hasn't been to in decades, right? It's been a very long time. She has no like real skills. She doesn't know how to cook because the library has always cooked for her. Like the people in the library have always cooked for
Oh, the
her.
library has
She
provided.
It's provided everything, right? She doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't know how she can clean ish. She doesn't know how to like grow things. She doesn't know anything. And she doesn't know anybody when she gets to this island. And so she gets there, she finds her parents' old house. It's technically hers because they left everything to her. It is dilapidated-ish, but it's still got like her parents' old clothes in it and some books and things like that. And the thing is, they have outlawed the use of magic unless you are a sorcerer. And
Mm.
so the sorcerers from the city used to come to all of the outlying islands and they would do whatever magic they needed to, make non-native plants grow and to help with the weather and blah blah blah. And she ends up getting to her house and a man shows up, a neighbor, and who he's like, "Hi." And she's like, "Please don't come here. You're a stranger. Like you can't know anything about this stuff." So she's got all of these spell books and all of these things. She's trying to hide them because she doesn't want anybody to know that she basically stole them. And so it's an
Saved
entire
them. Same thing.
yes, she
We're
saved
going with
them.
saved.
So she finds out, how to do some magic and ends up creating a jam shop because she's like, I have to figure out some way to make money. Nobody's going to hire a librarian here. So she makes a jam shop, befriends the local half fawn baker lady and other people, and kind of like figures out how to do things. She's learning how to help to save some parts of the island. There's a lot of mer babies and mermaids and you know half horse water thing. Like there's all sorts of stuff happening, and there's always the mention of these little cats with wings all over the, like pigeons are in cities. In this town it's just cats with wings, like really bright colored wings. And so what's funny is that on the, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's like a little cat right there, like right here.
Yeah.
Boop. That's a little cat with wings. And in this one, there's also a cat with wings.
Oh,
And so
cute.
it kind of goes, so that's the first one. And then the second one, same world, right? Except this one is about the librarian who created Kaz. And
Ah.
she got in trouble for it. She got in trouble and sentenced to life as a statue, as a wooden statue. They made her into a wooden statue. And she gets sent to this island, they think, to help to save this enchanted greenhouse. And she's like, I'm not a sorcerer. I made one plant because I was lonely and sad. And so it's her way of, she was frozen as a statue, like a sentient statue, right? So she can't make noise, she can't move, but she's aware, she can
She
see,
has consciousness.
she has
Yeah.
consciousness as a statue for 6 years. She's just stuck as a statue and somehow makes it to this island in this greenhouse. And it's her journey of trying to help with whatever's going on here because the greenhouse is failing. The greenhouse is basically
Same island that first
different,
librarian ended up on?
different,
Different
completely
island.
different,
Okay.
completely
Okay.
different island. She meets a guy. They're both like little, there's a little love story in both of these. She meets the only gardener left on the entire island. The only one. His whole family used to be gardeners there, and now he's the only one left because of reasons. But now there's so many, like, there's just unending greenhouses that all have different plants in them from, the city or whatever. And one by one, they are failing. And something is causing them to fail. And nobody there, the gardener's not a magician. She's not a magician. Like, none of them are sorcerers. And so they're trying to figure out how they can save these greenhouses before they literally lose everything.
Interesting.
Yes. And they were both super cute stories. If I could read them for the first time again, I would. If she comes out with a third one, I will 100% read it. There is a tie in between both stories that you get
I was
to.
going to ask.
There is. I can't tell you what it is because I literally read it and outwardly exclaimed when I read what happened. And I was like I have chills again thinking about it. But I loved it so much that I stopped reading, looked up, and was like, "Oh my gosh!" and literally said out loud exactly what had happened because I had to share it with somebody. Not that he cared, but he listened very kindly.
Yes.
And he did. He was like, that's great. And I was like, no, you don't understand. It is great. Like, I love
And
it.
now I must go back. Bye.
Yes. But they could literally be read out of, out of order. It would not really have mattered because the stories can
Okay.
kind of stand on their own. So it was
Okay.
more special to read them in the
How
order that I read them.
how did we stumble on these? Because these are not
Um,
ARC books. These are real books.
no, these
Well,
are
not
real,
that
real.
ARC books aren't real books, but like
These
you
are,
had
yes.
hard
Yes,
copies.
these are hard copy books. I have seen the Spell Shop I think I had gone to Barnes & Noble like 3 or 4 times and it was always just sitting there.
Is that wait, who wrote that? Is that Evie Woods?
No, Sarah Beth Durst.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
this would literally
Disregard.
had been like it had been like over here on this table, and then the next time I came in it was on this table, and then the next time I came in it was like literally on the front, like where you walk by after you've made all your decisions and you're going to purchase. It was just sitting there, and I was like, fine, I'll take you home, like
I was like,
whatever.
hello. I'm trying to keep
Because
getting closer to you.
right, because also I'm not super like I love fantasy, but I don't usually go for fantasy first. I go for like a romance or a romantasy or a rom com. Like those are the easy mood reads that I pick up. If it's got a pumpkin on it right now, I'm reading it. So it wasn't really one that was in my purview. And then I saw it and was like, okay. And while I was reading it, the second one came out. And I was like, well, I have to find it because I will eventually get to this. And so I bought that one before I had even finished this one and then was so glad that I did because I picked it up immediately afterwards. Like brought them both with me to vacation because I was like, if I finish you, I am starting the second one
I
immediately.
need something else. Yes.
Yes. So that's the way that I did that. And I will 100% recommend those. I love them.
Nice. Okay, very
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So I had an audiobook experience. I uh, not a revisit, but I decided to see what all the hype was about ACOTAR.
Oh, right. Okay. Look at me. I was like, wait a
Sur-
minute.
Surprise. I know. So, I mean, I've been hearing about all of this like way before we started the Fourth Wing
Yeah.
stuff. And I know people, it was like all the rage. So I was like, I mean, I have it on audiobook. Okay, I've been doing a lot of sewing, and it's really nice to listen to audiobooks while I sew because it's kind of monotonous once you're actually sewing, not in like the previous parts, but like the
Right.
actual sewing bit. And I ended up, so this book, it was dramatized version, so there were different characters. And I'm sure we'll get deeper into all of the nuances when we discuss audiobooks specifically. Um, I didn't like it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I was like, what is she gonna say? No, that's okay. It's my least favorite of the tropes right now. It's my least favorite of all of the fantasy ones.
I just was
And the first one,
like, okay, and I had heard that the first one you're like, if you can get there, and I'm like, if I don't love the first one, you're not making me come back to give it another shot. Like, eh. Did I get the second book on audiobook? Yes. Like, yes, I have it because like it's something I could do while I sew, so not a big
right?
deal. But did not like it.
What
Not a
didn't you
fan.
like? Was it the characters or was it just the story itself?
It was cute in like
Okay.
a negative way. Like
What?
if someone was like, that's cute, I'm like,
Oh God, no.
like that's that like um it reeked of Beauty and the Beast, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
To start, it was an adult version. I would say it's an adult version of
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
I just didn't care.
Okay. That's fair.
I had no connection. I just didn't care. I was like, this, and legit, like, I don't know how else to say it besides I told Greg, I was like, it was cute. And he was like, oh. And I was like, no, in like
No, not
an
like that.
insult kind of way, like, it's cute.
That's cute.
So, I'm very torn because I was, like I said, it was a two-part book. I went ahead and got it thinking, but like I see all these things online now and on threads, and people are like, oh, take me back to Prithian. And I'm like, do we care yet? I don't know. So I'm gonna go
I
with book two and we'll
Yes, I
see
would
what happens.
love to see how you feel after book two. I feel like
Okay.
book one is a lot of setting, like scene setting and world setting. And yes, a lot of things happen, but like better things happen later, right?
Okay. It felt
And
very top level. And I'm like, we didn't get into a whole lot. It's just kind of
yeah,
like, here's like a quick overview,
yes.
maybe is
I,
what I was thinking.
I think there's more. Like I will tell you, all of the t-shirts that I have that go with that book series come from later books. I don't have a single
Okay.
thing that goes with book one because I
Okay.
am not a fan of book one, right? Um,
Okay.
like I read it, right? I liked it when I read it. I was like, okay, this is a new genre-ish for me because when I read it, I wasn't into the fantasy stuff really at all, especially like the bigger fantasy stuff. Um,
Right.
so it was fine, but I tell people when they're like, "Oh, I'm reading ACOTAR," I'm like, "Great, get through it, and then keep going." So book one was my least favorite. Book four is just kind of like uh,
That's a very thin one
it's
anyway.
super thin. It's
So,
very much just like
yeah.
we're gonna like put some things together, right? We're gonna tie up some loose ends, and then book five is actually my favorite because it has my favorite character in it. So, which
Yeah.
sucks for
Okay.
me to
And
be
now
like,
there's going to be
hi.
a book six.
Yes, there is. I do feel bad that I'm like, hi, read till book five and maybe you'll like it. But that's the book that I like, right? I enjoyed book
Okay.
two. I can't really remember book three. I remember book four, and I definitely remember book five. But I read them a long
Okay.
time ago at this point now, so I
Yeah. I was
understand.
going to say, it's been a
I
while. It
I
has
do
been a
not
while.
begrudge your judgment of book one at all because you're probably kind of right. But it
Yeah.
does.
I was just like,
This part it gets
I
better
don't
for
know.
me. It gets better.
And, you always wonder, like, are the previous books that I read recently, like, overshadowing? Because the other books I read were very well developed and they were huge. Well, the Game of Thrones book, probably not the Intern, but it's like a huge world and there's a
Yeah.
lot of detail and a lot of specificity
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
within that. And then to come to this book, I was like, meh,
It's
okay.
fine. Right.
But it's something in my ears, like I said, while I'm
Yeah.
sewing. So
I think that's why I like that I read ACOTAR first and Fourth Wing second. Actually, yeah, I did ACOTAR, part
yeah.
of Crescent City, and then Fourth Wing. Because I feel like if I had read Fourth Wing first, I might not be as impressed with ACOTAR.
And that's what I'm wondering if maybe
Yeah.
that also adds to it. But it's been interesting because as we talk about this, I think my taste in books has changed. I'm no longer gravitating towards, I used to read like young adult
Mm-hmm.
fantasy was where I would go. And now I feel like I'm looking for things with a little more substance, a
Yeah.
little more story, a little bit more, I would say less surface level, like things.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to like look back at what I've read and what we've talked about and be like, oh, I'm not that girl anymore. I'm not that reader.
I'm still that reader, and not even the fantasy. I'm more of like the spell shop sort of thing versus the dragons. I love the
Yeah.
dragons, but I'm also not like looking for more dragons. We already did dragons.
Right.
I do have
Right.
an arc coming up that does have some dragons in it that I am excited about because I did read the first one. And so there's a second one coming out where I'm like, oh, but I'm like invested in these characters. Like I've already picked my best friend.
Hmm.
So that one I'm excited about. But I'm
Yes.
still like right now, everybody that I'm interacting with is on the rom-com side or like the romance side right now, and it's actually really nice because I'm like I said, things are busy. I am busy. The like we are 3 sports seasons in right now, and so it's just like if I can pick something up and put it down that's like really quick, that's what I'm into because that's where I am in
Yeah.
my life. But I
That's where
think
you are. Yeah.
when I get to like the January, February, March, I get heavier quick because then I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I have
Yeah.
time to put, I have time to put a little bit more oomph into the brain power
Yeah.
that goes with that.
Yeah.
Because right now I need something that I can pick up and put down in between a football practice.
Yes. Between
So,
plays, because
right, and when as I'm very good and I don't read at the games, but I definitely do read at practice because they don't need me, right? They're just running amok, whatever they're doing. But it's literally, by the time you get in there and set up and everything else, it's 45 minutes.
Hmm.
I can't really get a ton done in 45 minutes when we're taking care of water and, tying shoes and stuff like that. So give me something easy to read. That's where I am. And it
Yes.
works well for the fall because, like I said, if it right now, if it has like a pumpkin or a cabin or I picked up a book yesterday that was called You Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. Pretty sure it's also like a rom com magic
Yes.
thing. And I'm like,
We
it's
love
just
that.
like, if it's something that's feels cozy, I'm 100% in right now.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
So that's where I'm headed for the next month.
That's where I'm
So give me,
headed. Like I said, I can see it on the horizon, but like right now, we're kind of in that weird in between. So,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
that
I got
was
a little
my
fun.
August.
Yeah,
What
and
else
that was
did
mine.
you? What did you
I
finish
think
up with?
I also did, and we'll talk about, like you said, when we do audiobook wise, I also picked an audiobook because we were driving for a vacation. It was a
Hmm?
6 hour drive up, 7 hour drive up, 7 hour drive back. And after I had gotten through all of my Broadway listening, the kids are in the car, they've all got their headphones on, but I also can't listen to like a murder podcast because,
Hmm. Yeah.
someone's headphones are going to die. Someone's going to ask a question right when they're like, and she stabbed him 67 times. That doesn't seem great for children. So I was like, well, I can't do that. And I was like, I don't want to listen to regular music right now. Like I was just in that place in the car where I was like, okay, I'm bored. Like this is just,
Yeah.
it's not a hard drive. I'm bored. What do I do? And I was like, oh, I think I have an audiobook that I could listen to that's appropriate because I have some that are not, but I have
Right.
one
Yeah.
that's appropriate. And so it was actually called As You Wish. And it was told by the man who plays Wesley in The Princess Bride. And so the whole book, every time they introduced somebody else, like Rob Reiner, right, who was doing the directing and everything, or, Buttercup, they had them actually talking about their part of the story. So they were reading or recanting whatever part of the story was. And it
Yeah.
was lovely. It was lovely. And we'll
I
get
love
farther into it, but that's how I kind of like wrapped everything up to the point that I actually had to go back and watch the movie afterwards.
that. You're like, and we
But
need
it
to
was
revisit.
right,
Yes.
but I think that's how I might like audiobooks. Like, give me different people talking just versus
Yes.
one. Like, I think I would
Yeah.
need more than one person. But we can
Yeah.
get deeper into all of that
We'll talk all about
in
that.
an upcoming episode when we do audiobooks. But that's one of the ones that I did for this month that I enjoyed. So
Yeah.
I do not feel bad about it, and I do and I don't typically ever recommend audiobooks, but As You Wish was fabulous. And I
Okay.
mean, being talked to in the car by a guy who's got a British accent and it just seems kind of nice and happy was a really nice way to spend my drive.
Yeah. Tell me a story, sir. Tell me a
right?
story I'm familiar with so I can kind of pay attention, but I kind of already know and just
Yes.
get a
And it
little
was
inside
basically,
information.
it was all the background of them filming the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. And it was
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. Fantastic. So it was, I guess it was
Nice.
more nonfiction-y than an actual story.
Yeah, but we
And I
love
don't
that
usually
too.
do that. We did love that. We did. So that
Yeah.
was my August. That's what
Yeah.
I packed a lot in, I think, but it was all a little bit all over the place, which we like. No horror, no thriller, but that's not usually me. So I
Yeah.
leave that to you.
I'm good with it any time of the year, but I'll see what I can get into as we get into spooky season.
Get into spooky season, see what happens. Exactly. So
Murder season. Yeah.
it is. Oh, I do have to
Look.
read my MC Beaton. I think those are good
Yes.
for. Those are going to be really good for spooky season.
Yeah. Yep,
Like a
you're
little
gonna love
mystery.
those. Still, like, yeah, we're well out of horror.
Oh God,
You're
no!
not gonna be there.
I'm not looking
You'll
for
be
that, but I'm
fine.
good. I'm
You'll
good
be
with mystery.
fine.
Good with
Yes. I
mystery.
think this will fit you. You will love them. Yes.
Perfect. But they're on the
That's a
list.
good one.
So I got to get through September 1st and then I'll do them in October. So I actually think I have to
Okay.
sit down and, like, not that I want to plan it out because we know I can't do that, but I definitely kind of want to partition. You hear. I think I kind of want to organize, like, you feel like autumn books, you feel like spooky season, you feel like November.
In November, because you're
Right?
not
And then
Christmas.
holiday. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'll end up doing at some point. We'll see. I know I
Hmm.
have plenty to choose from, so
I think that's where I'm at too. I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna start my month. I know what I'm starting the month with, but then
yeah.
after that, anything goes because then I just go through the list or my bookshelf. You,
Boop.
taking you. And then I
Exactly.
hold that one and I look just to see if there's anything that jumps out that I might like a little better.
Yes. Yes, I do the same thing. I do the same thing. And I have them all. I've actually removed decor from my built-ins to add more books at this point. That's where we are.
Yeah.
So
I've tried to, like, finagle this one so that I have like cutesy stuff on the shelf and I'm like, we're just going all books at this
we
point
have, yeah, we
because
have no space.
that's what I have and that's what I need the room for.
Yeah. I'm serious about the backyard library. I'm serious about making
Mhm.
one of those because at this point I have to. We're running out of space.
We I need the room.
We do.
Yes.
And we're not going to stop buying books. That's not going to happen.
Ew, no.
No. So
Who says that? We have
I'm
books
going
here
to,
at home.
I'll have to
No, thank you.
recount soon and see what my number is because I have 100% lost count.
I keep a running total because we have so many that when we go to the store, we're like, oh, do I have this book? Have I just been seeing this book? Do I need this book? To the point where I've even scanned in Craig's because he's picked up duplicates now. So I'm like,
Oh, you know.
let me see your stack. Let me check the list. And so
Nope, you'll have to put that one back. You already have it in a different cover.
we have that one. Unless we only have paperback at home and he has like hardcover,
Yeah.
then that's a good upgrade.
It is a great upgrade. And if it's a special edition cover, I will also consider that.
So there's that too. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I
So
also have the problem where some of the ARC reads that I enjoyed, I will actually go back and order them to
are
have on
now
my
coming
shelf.
out. Yes.
Yes, and I'm like, but I want that one because one I read it as a shelf trophy. One I read it, and two the cover's really cute. So
It's
I've done that a
super
couple
cute and
times.
I need
So
that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've had them
Yep.
sent to me. I'm a big fan of ordering, like, directly from the author when possible, and so I've had that happen. I have an ARC book that I think I read Smoke and Scar before that I talked about that I really liked, and the
Mm-hmm.
next book, Shattered Crown, is getting ready to come out. But the ARC is already in my Kindle, and I'm working on it. But I've
Yep.
already ordered the next, like, I've already ordered it when it comes out because the covers are so pretty, and I'm like, I need them on my shelf because they look at each other. So
And they go
I have to have
together
they do,
beautifully. Yes.
they do, and so
Yeah,
that's
and
where
that's
we are.
going to take up more space because they need to go this way and not this
They
way.
have to go this way. We cannot leave them this way, right? We have to go this way. So I don't know. It is what it is. That's where we are.
You'll
I'm
need
just
the room.
accepting it at this point. We do. So that is
It's
our
just how it's going to have to
August,
happen.
right? Want to know what everybody else is reading? We've missed you, and would love to hear kind of what was on your list. What do you recommend? Is there anything that you hated and that we need to stay away from? Because I have plenty of things I've picked up and need to know if any of them are terrible. I might have put something on my shelf that was not
Yep.
great, so let me know. Please, like, let us know what's going on. If you have recommendations, if you're like, hey, if you loved this, you will love this. We love recommendations like that. So happy to hear any of that, either, here on the YouTube channel or over on Instagram or Threads. We're all over all those places. So happy to connect.
We're all over the socials. And we hope you enjoy seeing our faces again because we are back.
We are. We're going back to more regular episodes. So you'll be seeing us more often. If there's something that you'd like for us to cover that we haven't already, let us know. We'll add it to the list. Sounds good. Until next time, happy reading. We'll see you soon. It's back!
It did it!
It did it! It's a real episode now. It happened. It was great to have you join us for today's chat. If you'd like to continue the conversation, provide a recommendation, or simply say hi, pop over to Instagram at wine.read.wine or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next episode. Happy reading!